You know, one of the main goals of the Archaeological Field School is not only to conduct research in a real-world setting, but also to train students. And so thus far it's very much been a success for us because we have a number of students who we've been able to train now in some very basic techniques. And the first few days are always a little slow going and a little rough. They're all unfamiliar techniques to the students, but now it's really nice once you're into the second week and into the third week because you begin to see them making progress, begin to see them making the kinds of observations they should, and working with the tools and working with the soils and making interesting finds and so on. So thus far it's been successful. This is a really significant location here because not only were the French on this side of the river, but our 18th century maps show that there was a Potawatomi village on the other side of the river. So in the fur trade, we can't really think about the fur trade without thinking about the Native Americans. And through the years, the other side's been cultivated and people have searched fields and they found a number of objects that indicate that there is a native site there. Some recent work we did allowed us to investigate a place where a bone was found, and it turned out to be a human bone, so we know there are also human burials there. And it's not that we necessarily want to excavate these, but we want to preserve them for the future. So this whole location, the native component on that side of the river and the French component on this side of the river, all make for a very interesting study and understanding the interactions between the Europeans and the native people. You can see here how, I was just pointing out how high the river is. This excessive rain that we've had over the past few days has really plagued us. I mean, the place we're standing here is dry, but that's because this is a landfill. In the 1930s, the city started dumping material here, and I suspect that it was a low-lying area, so they wanted to fill it in. And this has partly been problematic for archaeologists and investigators who have wanted to seek out the fort, because half of them thought that the site was beneath the landfill and the other half thought that it had been washed away by this river. Yeah, you can see here this higher ground represents the edge of the landfill. We're also standing on the landfill here. And then this lower area, this what looks like a swampy area now, is the area where in 1998 we dug a series of shovel test pits. And we were able to identify gun flints and gun pots and pottery and animal bones from colonial meals. And this coincides with what the documents are telling us about the location of the fort as well. The high water table can actually be a mixed blessing. I mean, on the one hand, the frequent flooding of the river could have washed some materials away from the site and maybe disturbed the site. But on the other hand, it may have also preserved the site in some ways. In other words, some of the deposits may have been waterlogged, and so objects like the wooden handles of knives and the bone handles of knives and